Hello, Third Style Garage. This is an episode about how to repair a 2005 Subaru Forester. The rear hatch does not open reliably or well. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get the unlock button like 20 times and then it'll go. All of the times, the handle that you pull to open it does not go back on its own. Let me show you what I mean. So this is the latch that you pull to open the door. When you pull it open, the door should open, and when you let go, this should spring back. It's not. It feels a little crusty. It looks rusty. We live in Michigan, so I'm guessing that's the heart of the problem. I could not find much online in terms of ways to repair this. And so I'm going to figure it out today and share with you what I learned, because this may be your problem as well. 2005 Subaru Forester, I don't know. I think it might be, I'll post here somewhere what years are similar. I'm guessing Subaru probably copied mechanism like this for a lot of the early 2000 Outback, all of the other models too. So let's figure this out. Got 3 of the plastic clips along there. They just push in, screwdriver, trim removal tool. They pop out, set them aside, don't lose them. Then I've got a handle on this side with plastic cover, living hinge on the side that exposes 2 Phillips head screws. So let's take these out next. There may be more. I'll have to explore what that is. Then I'm guessing we're to the point where it's a bunch of press-in clips that we just may need to muscle the thing out. From there, don't drop it. Handle's off. These little black plastic clips fall out. So if you pull this plastic a little bit, this little plastic guy comes out. Set them aside with your little push buttons. My guess is this pops out. So here's the terrifying part. How hard do you pull? Is it gonna snap out? Is it gonna break? Is it breaking? I don't really know. It's my daughter's car. She's watching. Sorry if I'm breaking through. Why? I'm missing a screw. Yes, I think it does all snap in. I've got one right in this area here, which is really stubborn. Might also slightly being held on by being stuck on the other plastic over here. It's a little hard to see, but this edge here kind of wraps around the other plastic. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 internal ones. Looks like I've got one right there that either went flying or was missing. All right, time to figure out what's next. Here was the other piece that I missed filming. Once this plastic cover is off as you work to remove this plastic piece, there are 6 or 7 10-millimeter nuts along this stretch that need to be removed. All right, thought number 2, maybe the wiper motor doesn't need to come out. So I put that screw and that screw back in, trying to figure out how to show you. Right there is, you can see a stud sticking out. I was able to get that with a socket on the end of, I've always called them a wobbly extension. It's an extension that has a little, you can either buy them this way or you grind your own, a little recess afterwards, so that your socket can wobble a little bit. It's like a universal joint on the end of it, except a little bit more, it has limited motion, so it's a little more controllable. So there is one, where did it go? Right up there. And there was one on this side. Crap, there's a second one. I forget where it was. Right there. Right there. That I took out as well. There are a couple other studs. I see one right there and one right there. I don't know if those need to come out. My working theory is maybe that's what holds the handle mechanism on. So let's flip the car over and see if that panel comes out. Obviously when I said flip the car over, I meant flip the hatch down. Used my little trim tool, pried on the sides, and she's coming loose. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts holding it on. Now the only thing left is the harness that plugs into the license plate lights 1 and 2. And here is my handle that I think is causing me troubles. I got to figure out whether I can just clean that up like this or whether I can unbolt that and take it to the bench and work on it. Figure that out next. All right, this last screw nut was the hardest. It is right there. You can see it. It is covered by the windshield wiper bracket. I think the windshield wiper bracket is held in by 3 bolts, but then whatever's, I think you need to take the arm off the back that goes through the glass. I didn't want to do that. I'm lazy. So what I ended up doing was sliding my deep well 10-millimeter socket in there, getting it on the bolt, and then with the socket almost sitting like that, I was able to take my extension on my drill and kind of force it into the socket and get it to turn. A little tricky, but it worked. Hopefully I can flip the hatch down now and that handle will come loose. I do need to detach this cable from it. So when the handle moves, it pulls this cable, which goes around and unlatches the door, I assume. So let's get that handle off. All right, so the same handle is loose now. Slides out. Sweet. Look at that. Threads are getting hooked up a little bit. Gentle. Come on, what's it hung up on? There we go. And then just need to remove the pull cable So it slides out of this, should slide out like that, rotate 90 degrees, and the cable and ball comes out. Now we go to the workbench and clean this. Thumbs up, guys. We're making progress. Let's take a closer look at this. Sorry, the furnace is running in the background. There's the pivot point, the shaft for the pivot. It's surface rust, but I don't think it's so thin it's gonna break. Little spring. That spot concerns me a little bit. And it is pretty rusty on this side. Debating about hitting it with a wire brush, some penetrating lubricant, maybe sandblast it, but I want to ruin the plastic. Start with a wire brush and see how that looks. I've got one on my bench grinder. Let's give that a try. Looking a little better. So that's definitely a rivet. I don't think I want to try to drive that out. I'm gonna work on it for a little bit, see what we figure out. So I cleaned out, I think my problem area is right in here and right in here. Cleaned it out as best I could. Put PB Blaster lubricant penetrating fluid on it. It's better, but it still is not to the point where it springs back on its own, which is what it's supposed to. And I think it's because this shaft is so corroded. I may need to buy a new handle online. Can't be that expensive. I'll check eBay, but if I'm gonna replace it, I wanna see if there's an easy way to fix this one. So I ground the tail off of this rivet, and I'm gonna try to drive this little shaft out. I'm guessing it's stuck fairly well, but if I can drive it out, something moved. Oh yeah, she's coming out. You're getting the idea. This is just gonna take elbow grease to get this shaft out. We'll get there. Cleaned it up on the wire brush. Corrosion's gone, it's still rough. Shaft cleaned up well. This is the part I'm worried about the most. It is thinner. You can tell that it's rusted away. I still think it's decently strong. The last piece to clean up is the plastic. I don't know, I'm assuming there's rusty bits of steel left inside these plastic holes. Taking an 11/64 drill bit, which is just slightly oversized. I'd like there to be a little bit of room for some grease in there. So it's shaving out the plastic and whatever crud might be in there. Sorry, thought you were on camera. So that feels like that should be clean. I'm gonna take some grease. Put it in the holes. All right, this bugger goes back in there. Here's the little spring. Spring goes in like so. All right, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Here's the head of the long rivet. On this side, I put it back in and I just put a little tack weld on there to replace the factory riveting that was done. If you don't have access to a welder, you could JB weld it. You could get a new long pin. You can buy a new one on eBay. Up to you. Last thing I'm going to do before reinstalling is, while I've got it apart, I'm going to get grease in as many parts of it as I can, just using my screwdriver to work it down in there. Keep rust from happening again. And then we'll start reassembling. And she's back together. Assembly went really smoothly. This is the reverse of disassembly. There was one nut right in here that was hard to get out. That was equally difficult to get back in. You can see the handle retracts quite freely now. And the hatch opens. Call that a win. Have a great day. Be kind. If you want to, hit subscribe, thumbs up, or if you have a question, comment, leave it below and I'll do my best to respond. Have a great day. Oh, you can see me in the mirror. Hi. See ya.